Welcome in, everybody, to a long overdue episode of Titans Tube. We are back at it again, and joining me, a special guest, Alex from the new and brand new YouTube channel, Mr. Titan. Alex, what is up today?
What's happening? What's happening, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I guess whenever like a country is like under quarantine, like just things start popping up like here and there, and sometimes a new Titans channel will pop up, and I think you are making the most out of this situation here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what? The funny thing is that your YouTube channel was actually the very first Titans content I ever saw, and I was hooked with both of you guys.
Really?
Yeah, you guys were the very first ones, and I would just watch you guys religiously. So it's you were my first. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man, that's so nice of you to say. And then, but I'm sure we've like let you down. We've broken your heart because we've just completely disappeared off the map. So now we're no longer an inspiration. Don't follow in our footsteps. You're doing your own thing. You're good, man. So yeah, definitely. Let's help out Alex. He's a good guy, a good Titans follower on YouTube and Twitter, I presume. Yeah, that's
Twitter,
how we communicated.
Yes.
So we'll leave those links in the description below, so you know what to do. Help him out. Let's bump up those subscribes for him. Bump up those subscribes. Bump up those subscriptions. Look, I'm out of practice. I'm going to fumble over my words. My thoughts are going to break up here and there, so I'm just going to let you try to carry this episode for us. But we last weekend, the NFL draft, the virtual NFL draft has concluded. The Titans got themselves a crop of players, and we're here to discuss those players and how we hope that they can help out this team. So, Alex, going into the draft, we knew a few of our needs. We had Jack Conklin depart the team for Cleveland. We had, I don't know, who else left? Delaney Walker, Marcus Mariota, but we already have who's going to replace them.
We had Logan Ryan as well. Logan Ryan left.
Right, Logan Ryan. We got ourselves a cornerback, so we'll get to him. We lost, oh, man. Casey. We don't have to talk about this, but the whole Jurrell Casey thing, man, I could do a whole video about that. That bothers me. That there was something that rubs me the wrong way about how we did that, man. Yeah. That is a franchise leader. Look, hold on. Look at this. Jurrell Casey is a bobblehead. I've got him as a bobblehead. You don't trade a bobblehead level player for a 7th round draft pick to or offload his salary. That's not how you do Jurrell Casey, J-Rob. But anyway, we'll be all right.
And the thing about that was that he's been like our rock, man. He's been through the dark times when Titans were horrible.
Yeah.
So it was rough, man. It was very surprising.
He was supposed to be a lifelong Titan. He was supposed to be a one-team kind of a player from start to finish of his career. He's like almost at the level of like your Mount Rushmore of Titans. Like that's how big
Pretty
of
much, yeah.
You know, I'll put it this way. Jurrell Casey for the 2010s was what Keith Bullock was to this franchise for the 2000s. That solid, always there, consistent player, the leader of that defense,
showing up. Yeah.
And we didn't trade Bullock for a 7th rounder. He tore his ACL, so we were like, okay, good luck with another team. But Casey was completely healthy, and his play hadn't dropped off. See, you got me going. Alex.
I see
we're
that.
Supposed to talk about the draft.
I brought you back. I brought you back from the show, and now you're going. I like it, though.
Now I'm just like on rants. Okay. All right. We're okay because we ended up, we got a Larell, not Jurrell, in the draft, and maybe he can help fill the hole that Jurrell Casey left. But anyway, okay, so let's get to this first round pick. So Jack Conklin, we addressed the hole on that roster first. What do you know? First of all, do you watch college football, and how prepared were you for this draft? Because I really wasn't.
All right, so here's the thing. I like college football a lot, but my team is the Florida State. Okay, and Florida State, if everyone knows, it's just haven't been good. The program hasn't been good since Jimbo Fisher left. So I kind of fell off that. So going into this draft, I didn't know that much about any of the players. I mean, I did a little bit of my research, but that's where I leave that off. I mean, it was.
You know, it's kind of similar to me. Like I would say I'm a Tennessee Vols fan. I follow them, but like since the late 2000s, Yeah, like after Philip Fulmer left, and they just started stinking. I haven't kept up with them that much. We had a fun year recently with Butch Jones, ironically, with Josh Dobbs, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Hurd. Those teams were fun to watch, and they had some success. But, yeah, other than that, I haven't, especially this year, I hadn't really been keeping up much at all. So that's where I was hoping you would be able to fill in with the knowledge of what Isaiah Wilson does best, the tackle from Georgia.
Well, he's good at the run block. That's his mojo, man. That's his thing. He likes to do is run block. His pass protection isn't the greatest, but we can always work on him on that. But his run block is he's top 5, and he's also a big guy. I think he's like 6'7", 350 pounds.
I was gonna say
he's a big dude.
He's huge.
Yeah,
he's a tower. He's 6'7", or 6'6", 350 or something like that.
It's disgusting.
So so when you look at those measurables, I would agree. Like, he's probably a bully in the run game, off the line of scrimmage, like charging at somebody, just pancaking him. But my only worry is how good is he on his feet and pass protection? What happens when he has to face these super fast edge rushers like Von Miller coming around, screaming around the edge? Who's in our division? Josh Allen
Watt.
From the Jags. Yeah, J.J. Watt.
Watt.
Yeah, so having to face some of these guys twice a year. Like, how is he going to be able to hold up against the pass rush? I'm glad we do have insurance with Dennis Kelly. But, man, my thinking, I don't know what you've been seeing on social media, but a lot of people seem to think Isaiah Wilson, he is young. He's like 20 years old, so he's a bit raw.
He's really young.
Coming out of
sophomore. He was a sophomore. He only played 2 years of college.
Yeah. I guess that would make sense then, him just being 20.
Yeah.
But a lot of people seem to think that he won't be ready really day one, and they're kind of looking at Dennis Kelly to at least start in the first few weeks, at least, maybe longer. And I've seen some people think that Isaiah Wilson not play at all, just kind of depending on how the season goes. And I don't know. To me, that's like, dude, this is your first-round pick. They're like a borderline or almost guaranteed like a plug-and-play kind of player from the draft. You want your first-round pick out there. But, I mean, if he's not ready, he's not ready. I don't think Taylor Lewan started right off the bat. I think it took, like, Michael Roos, got hurt, 6 games in, I seem to think, his rookie year.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. But, I heard those rumors as well that he's not going to be, day one starter. I think he's going to be competing for it. But then at the end, I think in the beginning of the year, I think he won't start. He might, be plugged in a couple times, but it's not going to be unless he, wows us all in preseason or something like that. But other than that, I don't think so. I think they'll keep. Yeah. I think they'll keep Nate Davis and Dennis Kelly and all that.
Yeah, and I've even seen some people. I don't know. You get all kinds of takes on social media, but some people are like, "What if we just slide him in at right guard and keep Dennis Kelly at right tackle?" Don't disrespect my man Nate Davis like that. He was coming along pretty well. I think he came out a little slow right out of the gate.
In the beginning of the year,
entered the lineup. Yeah,
it was really rough.
But I think he got better.
He did.
And dude,
he improved.
I'm pretty sure he was the blocker. He was blocking for Derrick Henry on that line whenever he ran all over New England and then Baltimore. And then Week 17 against Houston, I mean, we can go back into the regular season too. The offense really came on, and I mean, Nate Davis wasn't getting in the way of that. He definitely was a compliment to that.
Yeah.
So I like Nate Davis again at right guard. And yeah, as far as Dennis Kelly goes, I think, I feel like he brings more value to the team whenever he can be that sixth lineman because he's versatile. Should something happen to Lewan or whoever the right tackle is, he can come in, plug and play for a few games and do well. Yeah, and he's been here long enough to where he knows the system, that communication should be on point from the get-go. Has he ever come in and played guard? I feel like he could do that in a pinch if we needed him to come play left or right guard.
He might have been. I don't. It's kind of hard to tell who's playing who sometimes, but especially like you said, like he knows the system, and I think that's why our offense is going to click so well. Is that everyone's piggybacking from last year's playoff run, and it's almost the same people on offense. So that familiarity to where everyone's just going to be synced up together again. Tannehill to AJ Brown and stuff like that. It's going to be really good.
Ooh, I want more Tannehill to A.J. Brown in my life. My goodness, I can't believe how many big plays they made last year. We are not used to that as Titans fans, seeing a big play passing offense. Man, it was so exciting. I guess finishing up on Dennis Kelly, I feel like if you lock him into like your starting right tackle and you just like limit him to that, and he could do well, but I feel like just the sheer value that he brings to your offensive line as a whole and the potential that he brings to be able to shuffle around if something should happen to your initial starting five, I think would hold us back a little bit if we have to keep Dennis Kelly in his one fixed spot. And he can catch touchdowns. I mean, we saw him catching touchdowns, so he's good at that. Let's throw him a few passes. But anyway, this is about Isaiah Wilson. So I'm happy with the pick. We picked a guy that we needed. We drafted a position of need. We'll just have to see, how he does with the training camp rolling around. Hopefully he can get up to speed. And, man, if he can win that starting right tackle spot, then beautiful. Then I'm happy.
We're good in that position. Yeah. That's perfect.
So we'll see how he is with the pass protection. I mean, he'll be going up against edge rushers in practice like Landry and Beasley, Correa, Clowney. Is that a possibility still? I hope so.
No, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, man. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, man. The Titans fans hyping each other up so much, it's only gonna come back and shoot us in the foot. I've seen this happen way too many times. Let's move on to the second round now.
Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, Peyton Manning. And who's the guy from New England? Hightower. Remember all the hype around bringing in Dante Hightower?
Yeah, he was. They said that he actually was visiting Nashville and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, we got him. Like, I was so stoked for him. And guess what? Crushed my dreams. Peyton Manning was the one that crushed my dreams the most. I think that one hurt a lot.
Yeah,
because it was three teams. I think it was Broncos, Titans, and there was another team and I remember Bud Adams threw everything in the kitchen sink for him. They're like, yeah, you have a lifetime job here after you retire. Remember that? And I was like,
you can have my job. Yeah, you can have part ownership or something.
Yeah, part ownership. And I was like, oh my god, I'm like, we got him. He's he played in Tennessee and he's just going back to his roots. That's what's gonna happen. And the news, I was just I was so hurt that I kind of shut my feelings out for the next time some big name come. I'm I'm not biting the bullet on this. Tom Brady, same thing. I mean, I'm okay with Ryan Tannehill being our QB, but at the same time I was well, Tom Brady. I mean, you can't pass up on Tom Brady. And I was you know what? All this Mike Rabel, FaceTime, he's in the game, he's talking to him. I'm nope. And look what happened. So I was whew. So Clowney, I'm just, hey, if we get him, perfect. I'm all in. If we don't get him, I think we'll be okay still.
Yeah. I think we'll be okay. It would definitely help. Because edge rusher was a position of need going into the draft. So that's another hint that since we didn't take edge rusher in the draft, that must mean good things are moving along in terms of Clowney. So that's yet to be determined. So let's move on to the second round where Logan Ryan, we mentioned earlier, unfortunately is not going to get re-signed now, and that's 100% fact now that we drafted Kristian Fulton out of LSU. Again, didn't know much about him. I mean, I watched the SEC championship, I watched the national championship and the college football playoffs, but I don't know. I don't remember seeing Kristian Fulton playing or whatever.
Or his name pop up.
I was just yeah. I mean, he might have made some, standout plays or whatever, but it just didn't stick with me. But yeah, a lot of people are excited about this guy. A lot of people are saying he was one of my top 3 cornerbacks going into the draft, and I thought he was a mid first rounder, late first rounder, and he fell to 61 for us. So that's exciting, knowing that it seems like we got a lot of value with this guy at least. What are your thoughts about Fulton coming in?
This was my favorite pick out of the draft, and in my opinion, I think this guy's a stud. He's gonna play with a chip on his shoulder. He had I think on Twitter yesterday, he was ready practicing outside and stuff. This guy's ready to go, especially with the chip on his shoulder and stuff. I mean, this guy he attacks the ball so well and stuff. I mean, it's gonna be nice, especially young. A cornerback who's young and fast. That's what we need, quick and fast, because guess what? The Chiefs wide receivers That's what we need to beat. You know. So
yeah.
Man, I'm sorry.
They burned us.
I'm just saying. Yeah, they burned us all the time. I liked Logan Ryan. He played good, but I mean, they can't keep up to Hill or any of those Chiefs players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And looking in the division, like the Colts, they've got Rivers at quarterback. A lot of people are going to say, well, he's old and he's fallen off now. But Colts are a really well-coached team. I mean, I think they can make it work. And they just drafted, I forgot his name, Pittman, some wide receiver. I forgot what school he went to, but they drafted him really early. And they have T.Y. Hilton, another burner at wide receiver. I was going to say DeAndre Hopkins from the Texans, but nope. Thank you, Bill O'Brien. Don't have to worry about you anymore.
Thank you, Bill.
But Will Fuller.
I told him.
Will Fuller destroys us. What?
He does. And you got Kenny still. You got Kenny still.
They do.
Yeah, you still got Kenny still.
Still stills.
That's a little tongue twister right there. But yeah, you still got him.
So there's still some receivers in this division that we definitely needed some more help at cornerback after Logan Ryan's departure, and hopefully Fulton can do that. I'm pretty excited to see him play. He's been a little active on Twitter too. I think I've seen him post like the workout video. Is he the one that keeps posting and he's like excited and tighten up and let's get to work, all that kind of jazz.
Of them. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Shows that he wants to be here, man.
So long-term thinking, do you think this means that Fulton would probably play into like the slot position this year and then maybe move outside and be kind of more of a tandem with Adoree Jackson? And is this an early sign that we won't be re-signing Malcolm Butler after this year? He was on a 3-year deal, right?
Yep. Yeah, he was. I think
so. This will be his 3rd year.
Mm-hmm. I think this will be the last year for Malcolm Butler. I think we'll move on from him, and it'll save us some money too. He wasn't bad. Yeah. His first year with the Titans.
Oh, by no means.
You know, first year was a little rough, and then last year he played good, but he got hurt. But
he broke his hand or wrist in that Carolina game, and man, he was playing really good for us.
And we needed him so bad.
See him go down.
We needed him really bad. Towards the end
I know. Come playoff time against the Chiefs, we could have used him real bad.
Yep. So, I don't think so. I don't think we'll pick him up.
So maybe we're looking at this Adoree Jackson, Kristian Fulton as being our 2 guys on the outside, because I don't think Fulton is like limited or has a preference or is strong as an outside corner rather than the slot to another. I think he could do both, as far as I'm seeing from him.
Definitely.
So good help for the defense. We've addressed 2 positions of need, and one position of need that I didn't see a lot of, like ESPN and like CBS Sports and some of these websites will have, that team listed and then like 5 positions of need. None of them had running back, because when you think of Titans, they're like, oh, they have Derrick Henry. They're going to be fine. They don't need a running back. But we let go of Dion Lewis, and you can't just go into the year with 1 running back on the roster. So that was definitely going to be one of the bigger positions that we needed to draft. Definitely. We addressed it in good old J-Rob fashion, going to a small school and getting a standout player. Although Appalachian State, I didn't realize this until I was looking up their team for the last couple of years. They're really good. They lost like 1 game last year, lost like 2 games the year before that. So they're at the top of the middle tier of teams, if that makes sense. Probably not. But anyway, Darrington Evans. How do you like this pick and how he can be a complement to Henry?
Man, they're already calling it. They're calling it smash and dash. That's the duo. They got smash and dash. You got
bring it back.
I like it. It's Dion Lewis 2.0, because we all know that Dion Lewis couldn't run through the tackles. He just couldn't do anything. He'd had decent, with the screen game, but sometimes it would fall apart, and he barely had any good games. And I think this kid is what we need, because he can catch the ball from the backfield, and Derrick Henry, that's not his forte. I mean, he can catch the ball, but that's not his go-to thing. This kid's quick. I think he was the second fastest running back in the draft. So I'm really psyched to see what he does with Derrick Henry. I think they'll do good together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they'll complement each other really well. Yeah, kind of how you said, with especially in the receiving game, and how Derrick Henry, he can catch the ball. We've seen him catch screen passes. We've seen him catch screen passes and take it to the house, which is great. But I don't think you can ask Derrick Henry to run any other route besides like a little, whatever you call that, run to the flat, to the outside to set up the screen. Hopefully Darrington Evans can come in and bring us more versatility in what he's actually doing, do more, whatever wheel routes or cuts up field, or get a little more creative. Because one thing that I would be a little concerned about, and we kind of saw that with Dion Lewis whenever he would come in, is that whenever Derrick Henry comes off the field and the Dion Lewis and now Darrington Evans comes on, is that going to be too predictable? What are we going to be doing? So hopefully we won't be like changing too much. Like bring Darrington Evans on and run him between the tackles every now and then the defense would be like, oh, that's what they do with Derrick Henry. Like I would hopefully think that the offense wouldn't change too much play call to play call with Darrington Evans in there as opposed to Henry.
And that was one thing that was really bad when you saw Derrick Henry leave and Dion Lewis. I'm like, oh, it's a screen pass, and the screen pass would blow up. We'd always lose yards.
Or a pass play.
Do that?
Yeah, it would. So. Oh my gosh, yeah. Some of the screen passes was so frustrating to watch. It's like, I saw that coming a mile away. It could just indicate a pass play in general. And Dion Lewis was decent in pass protection at least, so he had that going for him.
Well, bye-bye, Dion.
Sorry, I think I talked over you. Yeah,
no, that's fine. It's a little lagging, so sometimes when you're talking, then I'm like, oh, you still talking? So my bad too.
It is I'm getting a little bit of a bad feed talking to you through my laptop here, kind of fuzzy and sound a little fuzzy. But you know what? Everyone has bad internet connection. It's quarantine. Everybody's on Wi-Fi and all that. Anyway. So, I'm pretty excited about this pick, but I'm also wary because I remember the Bishop Sankeys and who else? David Cobb. Remember David Cobb? He had almost completely left my memory as was he a third-round pick or a fourth-round pick? He was like a mid-round pick, and he did nothing. That was under a different regime, though.
Difference.
This is the J-Rob regime.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, it was a different general manager. Yeah. Someone who actually knows what they're doing, I give J-Rob all the credit in the world, man. He knows what he's doing.
J-Rob is at least 1-for-1 in drafting running backs in Derrick Henry. Or, here's actually, he's 1-for-2 if you want to count. Remember Khalfani Muhammad? I think he was a 7th-round pick 2 years ago.
Wow.
I don't even think he made the roster. Ooh, it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now that we're making videos again. Okay.
There we go.
I do remember Titans football. J-Rob, and J-Rob I trust, except for when it came to Jurrell Casey. But I do trust him with this Darrington Evans pick. I think he's a guy that can contribute right away. And, I was going to mention on kick returns. I think he did some kick returns at Appalachian State, and that's another role that he could fill. So that'll be nice.
Yeah. J-Rob was telling them that he was going to do punt returns as well and kick returns. So they'll be mixing up. And that's what J-Rob likes. He likes to have players that are versatile. They can do multiple things. Leading up to the 5th round, or round 5, our next guy that we
Long break between. Is that the defensive tackle, Larell Murchison?
Yeah, Murchison.
Yeah, I don't even have the list in front of me. All right, yes, from NC State. Oh man, fingers crossed that he's the next Jurrell Casey.
I'll give you some.
We'll see though.
I saw some of his highlights, and he does have a similar spin move to Jurrell Casey. I was watching, it looked like a younger version of Jurrell Casey. I know we keep bringing Jurrell Casey up, but that's what hopefully he can model into eventually. I mean, again, like you said, he's like 20 or 21. But he does play multiple positions. They move him around the line of scrimmage, and that's another
that's
thing
big.
J-Rob likes to do.
He can line up, right down the nose tackle or at either end positions. And so he'll be there. I mean, we still seem a little thin on the line. We have, of course, Jeffrey Simmons. Oh, man, I was looking forward to a few more years of Simmons and Casey rushing the passer. I'm just going to keep going back and forth between getting pissed off about the Jurrell Casey thing. That would have been a great duo. But we have Simmons there. We've got Daquan Jones there, who's not spectacular but solid and steady. And now Murchison. That's 3. What else do we have? I'm forgetting somebody. Like, I know,
You got Kamale Correa. You have...
Yeah, but he's more of an edge guy. Does he line up at that end position in like a 3-4 defense?
Sometimes.
Sometimes he does? Okay.
That Ravens game he did where he didn't bite for Lamar Jackson. He was about to run, and I thought he was going to just burn him, and Kamale Correa just stood in the pocket. I was like, perfect. But who else? I'm trying to think. It's Harold Landry.
Yeah.
Drawing a blank right now.
And I mean, it depends, from like week to week and like the schemes that we put out on the field. Like we could see Correa at the end position because we probably need a faster, even though he's a little undersized to be lining up right there, we probably needed a faster guy right there to keep up with Lamar Jackson. Same thing with like Landry. We could see him line up right there. I think Clowney, he's big enough. I think Clowney could like be at that position, and he's pretty solid against the run as well, if we end up getting him. Here I am talking about like we already signed him. But yeah, so we still like seem a little thin unless we're both completely blanking at those 3 spots on the actual
Beasley.
line.
Sorry, we just picked up Big Beasley.
Yeah, Beasley. He could. Yeah, he's a rusher too, but I think he can definitely line up at the end spot. But yeah, I mean, do we have enough beef though? Do we have enough big, heavy dudes to go up against some of these bigger offensive lines in the NFL? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, J-Rob's not done, or he may not be done, is what I should have said. He can make moves at any time. But yeah, I like the pick. That was definitely a position of need. Larell. That's so weird that his name rhymes with Jurrell. Like,
right?
The Titans are just like trying to troll us at this point.
Teasing us.
So that was 5th round. 6th round, is that where we go all the way to Marcus Mariota's home state to get one of his boys? Actually, I don't think they're boys at all. I don't even think that guy's actually from Hawaii. I think he just went to college there.
He's from California. I looked it up. He's a white boy from California.
Oh God. Oh well, close enough. We got ourselves a Hawaiian.
Cole McDonald.
Cole McDonald. What can you tell me about Cole McDonald? What do you know about this guy? He seems like a good athlete and has a big arm, but a slow windup with the ball.
His windup is very.
It's what I've heard.
It's low. When he throws it, it's like down here. This is where he's throwing it, and that's not good, especially if we have J.J.
Like
Watt
Phillip
coming.
Rivers like sidearm throw.
He doesn't sidearm it though. He like heaves it. Like it's just watch. It's weird. He's quick though.
Like a shot put.
He's quick though, and he does have some similarities to Ryan Tannehill. I think I said in one of my videos. It's a good thing to have a backup if he is a backup QB to the Titans, similar to our quarterback, because our offense won't change drastically. That's a really big thing. Like when Marcus, remember that a couple of years back, Marcus Mariota and Blaine Gabbert. Marcus Mariota got hurt, and then the offense went like nowhere. Like we're like, what happened to this offense?
Yeah.
Like it's a completely different team.
At like the worst time. It was the worst time possible. That we dropped the game to the Colts in week 17. Yeah.
Yeah. That
kept us out of the playoffs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one stung big time. But yeah, J-Rob learned we need to actually find a backup that is definitely going to be able to come in and help lead us to a win whenever we desperately need it. And then maybe we're going to pay him $118 million because he does so well. Maybe that'll happen with Cole. Cole McDonald? Colt?
Yep, Cole
I already
McDonald.
forgot his name. I'm sorry, Colt.
Cole McDonald.
But I mean, this guy, who knows? This guy could be like an Luke Falk, where he's like a super late round pick. He's just kind of a camp body and doesn't even make the final roster. I mean, when you get to these later rounds, you never know. Yeah, he goes to a probably going to go to a rival team and do really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll trade QBs. We'll take Ryan Tannehill. You can have McDonald. So what do you think about? I saw some Titans fans wanting maybe like the third round, but or the fourth round, or like to maybe trade up, but like to grab like a quarterback sooner, like a Jacob Eason or a Jake Fromm whenever they were still on the board. I was never crazy about that idea. To whenever you have other holes on the roster, to be like going for a backup quarterback, even in a middle round. I mean, quarterbacks are never a sure thing anyway. I'm sure some quarterbacks taken in the first round this year are not going to work out, and to like count on, a mid-round quarterback working out, that's tough to go by. So I'm kind of glad we stayed away from that and waited till like a really late round to pick one up.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I don't think we should have stayed there. It's perfect. I don't think moving to pick up a QB, and I'm not too sold on Fromm and stuff like that. I think Cole McDonald will be fine. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Okay, all right. So do you think he can make the roster? Do you think he will be on the 53?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not sold on our backup QB right now, Logan Woodside. I'm not sold on him. But apparently J-Rob.
I forgot about him.
J-Rob really, really likes him, and he talks highly about him. So as of right now, unless he shows out on preseason, I don't think he'll start. I think Logan Woodside will get the backup QB, but there is some still in the free agency.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think Logan Woodside will pick it up.
Yeah, in the limited time that we've seen Woodside, he's done fairly decent in like the preseason games that he's been in, hasn't he? Unless I'm misremembering.
He did okay.
I think he had a good game against like the Eagles, I think. In that first preseason game, I seem to remember him like just throwing up jump balls to like Khalif Raymond, and he would come down with it. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Got 3 quarterbacks rostered now. I don't know. I didn't even look at the list of undrafted free agents that we brought in. We might have got another QB or 2 there. So
I know we got a kicker though.
Little, yeah. That's man. Oh, we need a field goal kicker so bad. How did we make it to the AFC Championship
nuts,
game?
Huh? That is
and
nuts.
Go 8 for 18. We missed more field goals than we made last year, and we made it to the AFC Championship game. That's bonkers.
Yeah,
that's bananas. So yeah, we need that, and yeah, we have ourselves a kicking competition to follow and a backup quarterback competition to follow. Those are 2 big ones, and I guess the right tackle battle between Kelly and Wilson will be a thing. I'm pretty sure Fulton's definitely going to come in and be that third cornerback at worst. Then we get, and then the final pick, if you want to talk about him, what's his name? Chris Jackson, a safety. Little help at safety, possibly special teams if he makes the roster. I'm guessing he'd be able to contribute in those areas.
Yeah, like I said, it's another J-Rob move where it's a person who can play multiple positions. So it's always increases someone's chances on making the 53 man roster. You can do multiple positions, but you never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know much about him at all. I saw a couple of his highlights and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. He's not the tallest though.
Wouldn't expect anything like too crazy from a 7th rounder anyway, and that's probably hard to find highlights of him when you're getting that deep. Mm-hmm. So I think if you had to, everyone likes their grades or their 1 through scale from 1 to 10s. If you could place a grade on this draft, what would you give John Robinson?
I would give him I'd give him a B minus. B minus. I don't think it did too bad. But then again, we're missing a couple key spots like edge. But then again, I don't know what John Robinson's cooking up. You never know. I might say this today, and then we pick up someone tomorrow. So.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This video, it could be very quickly outdated. I agree with you. I would give him a B+. But if we end up signing Clowney, then I think I would bump that up to like an A-. And still, just looking at the roster as a whole, I think we still are a bit thin on the defensive line. He did address it. He did use one of our picks on getting a defensive lineman, so it's not like he completely ignored that position. But just looking at the roster as a whole, we still seem to be thin there. But yeah, I thought again, J-Rob seems to be very proficient at drafting and these draft picks, and the picks of Kevin Dodd seem like long gone into the past, and he's made up for it with studs like Jayon Brown and Kevin Byard and Derrick Henry.
Rashad Evans.
Franchise players, just like faces of this team just popping up now. Yeah, Evans, Harold Landry had a great second year. So more kudos to John Robinson. Again, let's see what else. We stayed away from the receiver position this draft. I like our receiving core. We got Humphreys coming back from Humphreys didn't end the year hurt, right? He was in the
he played in the playoffs, but it was like towards that like stretch like after like maybe like week 16, 17 he was hurt, and it was his knee, I believe.
Gotcha.
He had a knee injury.
Ooh. Well, if he can come back completely healthy, like I like the trio of A.J. Brown, Davis, and Humphreys. And we lost Sharp, so who would be behind them? Khalif Raymond as of right now. We probably could use some more help at like the 4th and 5th spots at receivers. But I like that trio, given that trio that we have at the tight end position, another position we didn't address. But those are multiple versatile tight ends, and so we're going to be spreading the ball around a lot. And so, definitely. I mean, yeah, and if you throw Darrington Evans in there, that's 6, possibly 7 potential pass catchers that we can be spreading the ball around in any given game. So, yeah, I mean, I'm content with the fact – I guess my point is I'm content with the fact that we didn't address receiver or tight end in the draft at all.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that we're going to pick up Corey Davis's 5th-year option or no?
You know, that's a good question. I see a lot of back and forth Titans fans because looking at Corey Davis, it's interesting because he was picked 5th overall. That is a huge value of a pick you're going to place on somebody. And then suddenly we get A.J. Brown in last year's draft, and he has completely vaulted to wide receiver 1, where Davis is now the second option. So it's like, what do we do with Davis? We have our wide receiver 1. If you ask me, Davis isn't necessarily doing anything wrong as far as poor play. It's just that he's not exactly producing. Is it because he's not getting the ball thrown his way? Is it because of the offense that he plays in? When I watch Corey Davis play, I feel like I'm watching a really solid football player. He gives great effort. He's a team first guy, first and foremost. Great off the field guy. No reason why we should move away from any
he's a hell
attitude
of a blocker.
Issues or anything like that.
He's a good blocker.
He's a hell of a blocker. Exactly. Like you watch all of our long plays 9 times out of 10, and we have that many long plays. It feels like more than 10 times. Yeah, we have Corey Davis right there leading the charge. He has solid hands. Like, I feel like he'll drop like 1 or 2 passes every few weeks, but it's not that common of an occurrence. I really like Corey Davis as a wide receiver too. If it were me, I would pick up his 5th-year option. I want that kind of player around. I think he benefits, and he should benefit from playing with A.J. Brown in an offense that gives the ball a lot to Derrick Henry. So when Derrick Henry's rolling, that should open things up for Davis. If teams are scheming to shut down A.J. Brown, that should open up things for Davis. I still really like him. Like if you watch YouTube highlights, I actually did this a couple weeks ago, and just like look up Corey Davis Titans highlights. He's kind of a beast, and people forget that he is a complete beast with the ball in his hands. Just like throwing people down with his arms. He has a nasty stiff arm.
He does.
He's got some serious speed, and he's made some super athletic catches. Like he's a solid player, and just because he hasn't lived up to his 5th overall pick status doesn't mean necessarily that we need to like move on from him. He's like, oh, he's not a breakout perennial Pro Bowl player wide receiver. I guess we should let him go. But I mean, he's given us a quality receiver play. Besides that, for a wide receiver too. And I like that pairing still of A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. So if it were me, that's a long answer. I think he is still on track to get his fifth-year option picked up despite a bigger drop-off this upcoming season. So I don't know. What's your take on that? Do you agree? Do you think it's time to look for a more lethal wide receiver 2?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to pick up his fifth-year option, and I actually thought they were actually going to address wide receiver eventually in the draft, but they didn't. So maybe that gives us like a little hint at what they're going to do. Like, we didn't pick up any wide receiver. Maybe they will pick up, his fifth-year option. He didn't play horrible. He's not a bad receiver. Like I said, he's a beast when he has the ball in his hands, but the problem is when he has the ball in his hands. He has a problem with separation. Same thing with A.J. Brown. They both have. But A.J. Brown's a rookie, so that's a little bit understandable. When they had those the New England game, they barely threw him the ball. Obviously they were running the ball, but still, like the times where you dropped back for the pass, like was it because he didn't have separation? Were both of them covered? Where what was happening? They can't create separation, so that's a little bit of a concern. He does have positive. Like we talked about before, he is a good pass blocker and stuff like that. But he's a wide receiver. He needs to catch the ball.
So right, my question would be because I'm not that well versed in how salary cap and money and all that side of things work. So if we did pick up his fifth-year option, would that be a big cap hit? Because if his fifth-year option is a big cap hit and we're not going to throw him the ball, then I would understand why we wouldn't pick up that fifth year.
I think I was reading it was like 15. I think was this right? I have to go back and look at it. But
his loan fifth year would cost us 15. That would be a lot. That would be a lot for what Corey Davis is giving us. Or I think it's better put, what we're doing with Corey Davis in our offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I was gonna say. I think this year is going to say a lot. I think that's going to be determined how this season plays out, because last year we had Tannehill, Corey Davis, and A.J. Brown. All three of those guys were playing with each other for the first time, and they played together for 10 games. So I think that's a pretty small sample size. So if we, the familiarity continues, the chemistry continues to improve between those three guys. We'll see how Corey Davis will produce in the offense coming up now that they've got a little bit of time under their belts working together.
That's true. We'll see what happens.
So, I think a lot will be determined in
they will pick
this
up
2020 season.
Adoree Jackson as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they definitely need to. Yeah, we got to pick up that guys too. They were in the same draft class. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's a lot.
Oh man. Okay, man. I'm glad I'm not an NFL GM, dude. If I was an NFL GM, I would still have like Marcus Mariota starting, because I'm just obsessed with him. I love him, dude. I can't help it. Like, I know a lot of Titans fans are like, good, he needed to be gone. He wasn't working out. Good riddance. And I'm like, but he was the chosen one. He led us back to relevancy. He got us that playoff win in Kansas City. I wanted it to work so bad. Obviously, in hindsight, I'm glad that Tannehill came in and took over, because we wouldn't have done as well as we did with Mariota still starting. But that just goes to show you I shouldn't be a GM, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
You know what? The Mariota thing, I have no problem with the guy. He's a super nice guy. The thing is, I think, in my opinion, it's kind of like it's the Titans' fault, the organization. It's that, and it's kind of his fault.
Yeah.
They try to mold him into a pocket passer, which he's not. And he had how many coaches and offensive coordinators did he have? So that's the Titans' fault too. Look at Lamar Jackson. They built that offense around him. That's what they needed to do with Marcus Mariota, and the Titans kind of failed them on that. So,
yeah,
that's my.
Yeah, I agree. It's not all Mariota's fault, and people that say like Mariota's I guess you could call him a bust at this point, but that's still like not completely his fault. But that he's like a garbage QB, and he sucks, and he's a bottom tier QB in the league. Like I still don't know if I buy that. Like, yes, he has consistency issues. He had that weird nerve elbow injury that really, I think, took a hit. He took a hit to his confidence level and his. I don't know, but he.
Well, did you hear about the Raiders though? What they said about him? Did you hear about that?
Is he going to take over for Derek Carr? I hope so. I'm rooting for Marcus in Las Vegas. What'd they say?
They said that he was still injured. That they need to shape him up and stuff like that. So could he have been playing last year, and could he have been still hurt? Who knows? I mean,
maybe. And he was just laying it out there because he knew it was a do or die year for him. So he was like, well, screw it. I've got to give it a shot. So, man, that's such a bummer. I hope things work out for him. Maybe, I'm rooting for him to come in and beat out Derek Carr for the starting job in training camp, just blow everybody's minds. I don't know. Do we play Las Vegas this year? I forget looking at the schedule. Okay,
no,
good.
We don't.
So I won't have any. I won't have.
But we do play the Broncos
against him. I know.
Jurrell
Casey. What's up?
We're
gonna see you, bro.
You know what? Yeah.
Dude, if he hurts like Ryan Tannehill or Derrick Henry, I'm gonna be so mad.
But here's the thing: is that we never play good against the Broncos. We never have a decent game against the Broncos. For some reason, we can't. It's that and the Bills. The Bills, we always have an ugly game. It's always like a 14-7, 10-7, and we always end up losing. It just
we're running a few losing streaks against those teams. I don't know what it is about the Bills. We can't score like more than 12 points, and they can't score more than 16 points or whatever. And that's enough. That's enough for them to win because we can't do anything. What's his name? Mr. Dropsies, Butterfingers, Nick Williams.
Yeah. Then they cut him after that. Remember that? Say bye, Nick. I was all bored on him too. I was like, you know what, Nick Williams, and then that play happened. I'm like, he needs to go. I'm sorry, Nick. You can't do that. That was the game right there. We could have won.
I mean, and it was so like in the moment too, where I was like, good riddance. I'm glad. Like in hindsight, it was like, man, that was a serious, drastic move. Like you screwed us over. You're off the team now.
Yeah,
like,
that's it. You're done.
Like a day later. All right. Well, we've made it through the draft. We've talked about the roster a little bit. Is there any other topics you want to touch on, or I mean? I felt like we were pretty thorough. I mean, we are the best two channels on the internet.
I think we did pretty good, man. I think we did actually really good. And it was a good flow we had going. Even though it's lagging and you keep like, I have to like give you like 5 seconds, then maybe talk because I'm like, I don't want to cut this guy off. He's never going to have me on the show again. He's like,
no, it's good. I feel like my brain is lagging at the same time, so it turned out to be like on an even level of communication.
I'm bringing you back, man. I'm bringing you back.
Get my thoughts in order.
People wanted you
Bring
back
me back
on
out
YouTube,
of my
man.
hibernation. Hopefully, I've had a few ideas, and I've started working on some videos. I don't know if anyone who's watching or you remember. I had a Marcus Mariota like long form video made, just talking about his career and why he's got a.
I did remember. I saw that.
Yeah, and then it ended up, and it was pretty well received, and then it got struck down, and YouTube took it off for like copyright infringement for like all the a few particular highlights I had in there. And you know what? It didn't end up working out with Marcus Mariota because the whole theme of that was me defending him as a franchise quarterback, and now he's not on the team anymore. So that aged so poorly that I'm fine. I'm fine with it. YouTube taking it off.
Thanks, YouTube.
But I have a few other videos that I'm kind of working on that are in that similar vein. So we'll see what happens. I'm a procrastinator. I'm lazy. I'm not very smart. I don't brush my teeth as often as I should. I mean, there's a lot of things going against me, I think.
Hey, man, it's okay, man. Just I would, clean up the brushing your teeth a little bit more. But other than that, man, you're good, bro.
That was gross.
Hey.
Yeah, it was a poor joke, and everyone just winced. All right. All right. Well, man, I appreciate you jumping on here and bringing me back out of the shadows. Make sure you guys go follow Mr. Titan YouTube channel. He'll be much more consistent with his content, I'm sure. You're kind of making the rounds with the guest spots. I saw you got a video with Titan Upload, who I've talked with Titan Upload about me being a guest on his, or him coming to Titans Tube and being a guest. One way or another, we talked about doing a video together. So that might be coming at some point. You're going to do another one with Chris from Titans and Truth,
yeah.
who's been a great guest on Titans Tube here. Love talking to Chris. So yeah, man, get out there, talk about this Titans football team.
There we go. And
with our fellow Titans fans.
I do appreciate you having me on, man. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, you were the very first YouTube channel, Titans related, that I actually watched, and it's crazy that I'm here and I'm on it.
Appreciate
I'm
that.
honored. I'm honored.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well, hopefully there is another aspiring YouTuber that is going to watch your content and do the same likewise, and then make it big and go work for NFL Network, and then you could be like, hey, I inspired that guy. He's one of mine. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm running out of juice. That's all I got. So yeah, let us know what you guys thought about the draft. Give us some comments, questions, criticisms, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll keep following this team, and hopefully some clowning news will be incoming.
Yeah, breaking news.
So yeah, any last words, Alex, before
No,
we sign
man.
off?
Again, thank you, and thanks for everything. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm glad I brought you back because a lot of people have been missing you, man. A lot of people have been missing you.
Hopefully I'll be here to stay more often than what I have been. So, oops. Man. Good stuff, man. Well, hopefully we can do this again in the future.
You know it, brother.
You guys out there, tighten up. We'll see you later.
Tighten up, guys.